welcome to Box Free with Stephanie. Today I want to show you how to make some basic foods with simple ingredients from scratch. And I hope you discover cooking box free is fast and delicious. So let's cook together. Today we are going to make stuffed green, red, and yellow peppers, or stuffed peppers. And I do rice and beef in mine. So the first thing I need to do is, I got my water kind of hot, but I really want it to be like boiling hot. So hopefully it'll be boiling by the time I prep my peppers. Prep my peppers, that's kind of funny to say. Okay. So I am doing a tricolor of peppers for this meal because I'm only feeding 3 people today. And they had a little package deal at the grocery store. So I thought it was really pretty and kind of summery and whatever. You could pick any color peppers. Normally I do just green peppers. So what you do is wash them, or don't wash them, I guess if you don't want to. I wash mine. And then my recipe says that you're supposed to cut them the long way. I need a place, so I guess I'll just throw these over here. You're supposed to cut them the long way. Hang on, I gotta get something to put all these in. Okay, you're supposed to cut them the long way according to the recipe, but I have never ever done it that way. I've always liked having like this little cute pepper to stick my stuff into. Like I don't know, I just don't want the boat, I want the actual pepper. So I always look for peppers that actually have like a decent, a decent bottom when I'm buying peppers for stuffed green peppers. And then if you can keep this, then you can actually like stick it on top. Hopefully I'll remember to do that. I don't always remember. But I just like to do it this way. So my water is almost boiling, and what you do is basically blanch your peppers, because you don't want, if you just put this with your filling and then you bake these for like 15-20 minutes, your peppers won't be like done enough, and they'll be just kind of really rock hard, and then that doesn't really taste very good. I mean, it tastes okay, but like the texture isn't right. So you just blanch them to basically soften them up. And then when you go to eat them, whoops, now I just destroyed my lid. That's okay. Hopefully I can stick it together like a little puzzle. When you go to eat them, then they are not so hard. So my water's pretty much boiling, and I am going to use my tongs, or you just drop it in, but you're basically dipping it in here, and you're going to boil it for like 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm going to watch the clock and see if I can do it. I don't know. I suppose you could overboil it, but I don't for sure. I usually underboil, of course, because I'm in a hurry making this or whatever. But now my red pepper. So you basically, when you're doing this, you just cut the top off, or you can cut them the long way and make a boat. It doesn't matter. But you just want to get all the seeds and all the, I don't know, what's this stuff called? I can't think of it right now. Just all the spines, I'm not sure. Get those out. So this is my difficult one. I could not find a red pepper with a nice 4 bottom, and this had 4, so this is a little bit cockeyed, but should be fine. I'll throw that over there. So now this is supposed to be like a rolling boil, and it's not like crazy hot because this hot plate's a little bit slower than my stove. But this is my really thickest one too. The yellow pepper's like that thick, and this one's only this thick. So, whoopsie, I forgot to take this out. Oh, I'm breaking it again. So if you want to be really careful, you can take a little knife and kind of cut this out. Let's not cut on top of the other knife. Was anybody watching the safety factor there? It's a little bit dangerous. So I'm trying to pop this out and still getting my circle, and so I don't have my problem with my orange one. Whoops, I just about cut right through it. All right, I almost got it. I did it. Yay! Okay. So it's been about 2 minutes. I'm a little impatient, but while I am waiting for my yellow pepper, I'm going to talk about my new apron. You guys notice my new apron my mom gave it to me for my birthday? And isn't it like, it's out of a men's shirt, and then these are like the sleeves become the pockets, and so anyway, I had to wear it because it's super cute, and it'd be a really fun thing to do as like a memento shirt, you know, if your husband has like a favorite shirt and you want to wear his shirt, and then you can make it into an apron. And it just has little ties, and anyway, so I think it's really cute. So thanks, Mom, I like it. I'm wearing it. This is not boiling, so I might have to switch over to my stove here because I'm really getting impatient. So I'm going to move this because now I should be done with my cutting board and my knife. And what I'm waiting for is for this to boil, and then I'm going to put a little bit of salt on the inside of my pepper, turn it upside down, and then that's supposed to like draw out all the liquid, because peppers of course do have a decent amount of water in them. And so as they're baking in the oven, you don't want all that water to like get into your insides, your filling and stuff. That's why we're going to just drain them and let them sit and kind of pull out any water that does come out. And I don't usually get a lot of water that comes out of them anyway, so I'm sure in my life I have skipped this step because I just don't think it's necessary. But let's call this one done. So basically when you pick it up, you try to grab it by the edge, and then you got to dump out all this water without spilling it all over your counter. Okay, so I'm going to pop this one in right away to get that one going. And then I'm going to sprinkle this with a little bit of salt. And I'm not going to overdo it, but just tip it upside down. All right, and then there's that little black thing in there. I guess I'm not going to get that out unless I use this. Nobody's really going to see this, but I mean, it's totally edible anyway, but I just don't like the look of it, so I'm going to pull it out. Okay, so now I think I'm going to switch this back over to here because we don't really need to see that anymore, but we do want to see my insides getting ready. So now I need a little butter. Where is my butter? All right, so now I can hear my water really boiling back here. So I'm going to watch the clock good for 2 minutes. All right, so now the inside of your stuffed peppers can be kind of whatever you want, but I mean, I've always done rice and hamburger, but you can do pork, or you can do lamb, and what was the other one I saw? Maybe that was it, pork and lamb, I guess is what this comes right out of my Better Homes and Gardens cookbook, my standard cookbook that I've had forever. It's ripped up and it's got notes in it, but it's got some good recipes still that I use a lot. So anyway, that's what they use, is just hamburger. Well, no, they said hamburger, pork, or lamb. Okay, so now this is boiling like crazy back here. So I'm going to dump this over because I didn't have enough water, so like this much of my pepper was sticking out. So I'm going to get that boiling a little bit more. And we're going to take that out pretty quick. All right, so the insides are burger and rice. Okay, so today I'm actually using leftovers that I have in my fridge, which is really kind of convenient and really fast. So this is basically 1 cup of hamburger. So I'm just going to dump that in there, and it's already cooked. So if you didn't have it cooked, just whatever, cook some up and just make it whatever ratio you want. That's what I guess I'm trying to get at, is the ratio is what always has mattered to me. All right, so here I am going to dump this water out like that. Bring this over, grab my next one, fill it up with water, and then let it sit there. Actually, I'm going to tip it over because I don't have enough water. I guess I didn't realize my peppers were so tall. So now I'm going to sprinkle salt, tip it upside down. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see this, but my paper towel is like kind of wet all the way around, which I think is mostly from the actual water bath, not like from the pepper itself. So, but who knows? I could be wrong. Maybe my salt is drawing out that much, but I kind of don't think so. All right, so I am going to heat up my burger since it was cold in the fridge. And then I happen to have rice, which is like 1.5 cups. So normally I do like equal rice and equal meat, but I'm not going to keep 1/2 cup of rice in the fridge because like I just don't think I'm going to use it. So I'm going to just dump it in because you can just dump stuff and change the recipe just a little bit. It's not like I'm adding 3 cups of rice. That would be too much, I think. All right. So I need to flip my pepper because I got this one side that is not getting done yet. Whoopsie. Like that. Oops, I should turn the oven on. Okay, get that going. All right, so in here I so far just have like 1 tablespoon of butter, and that was really just because I'm using leftovers, and so I don't want it to stick, and of course it will help it taste good anyway. So now to this, I'm going to add not very many ingredients, honestly. Like I'm going to add either onions, which if I was making my burger from raw meat, I would just chop up my onions and cook my burger and my onions together. But because I am using leftover meat, I don't have any onions in it. So I'm going to use chives because I happen to have them outside and I forgot to go get them. So I'll have to go get them in a second. But I'm going to do chives or onions, and then Worcestershire, some dried oregano, and chopped tomatoes, which could be fresh or not, but I'm using canned today. So, and I'm going to call this done. This thing is like boiling like mad out here. Whew. Okay. So sprinkle this one with salt, and then my little peppers will be all prepped up. Okay. So we're going to stick that there. Okay, so this is starting to sizzle, if you can hear it. So I'm going to add everything but my chives, and then I'll go out and get my chives. So it calls for 1 tablespoon. This is where it gets a little bit insane because I'm not really following the recipe. So I like Worcestershire, and I think it's a really good scent. So I'm not going to really measure. I'm just going to, no, I'm not going to measure, but I do want to do it this way so I don't lose like crazy. I'm going to basically put the full tablespoon that they called for, partly because I like that taste a lot. And then they called for half a teaspoon of oregano, which I will just do that too. And then I'm going to do a little salt because I don't really salt my rice when I cook it. So that was whatever, half a teaspoon I'm going to say. And then I'm going to open up, these are petite diced tomatoes, which I think you would definitely want petite because you're putting them in here, and so you don't want like big chunks of tomatoes, in my opinion. All right. And I'm also going to really not get all this liquid. I mean, this is kind of dry, so I could have a little bit of liquid, but I'm really going to just like fish out my what are these, tomatoes? Yeah. And kind of see what looks good. I don't usually do a whole lot of tomatoes, but I do like that taste, and it also makes it look a little bit prettier. So now when I go add my green chives, it's going to make it look really pretty, hopefully. And then we're almost ready to stuff. I mean, I don't know, I think this comes together quickly. Well, probably because I had the meat and the rice already cooked. But the other thing about using leftovers that's really important is when you are using leftovers and you're going to put it in the oven to bake, I always think it's really important to warm up your ingredients, because if I were to make all this cold from my cold fridge and then put them in there, it would just take forever to like heat this up. There's no science behind that. It's just been my experience and my own personal belief. But so that's it. And that looks like almost enough to fill my, I hope it's enough to fill my little things. Oh wait, no, I gotta add cheese yet. Okay, but right now I need to go get my chives. So hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, these are my chives. I'm totally not a gardener, but I do happen to have chives in my itty bitty flower garden. So I am going to cut off, let's see here, cut off all these little flower heads. I don't think you'd want to eat those. And then I'm just going to rinse them under the sink, even though like it just rained, I think last night or maybe the other day. And then I'm going to also make sure I don't have any grass. Like, I don't know, this looks like a piece of grass here. Okay, there's some grass. So, in my house, we eat chives and we eat grass, and we don't even know the difference. Now, I try to really go through it because usually it's pretty much just a chunk of chives. Oh, and then I also kind of feel for like these really hard pieces, which I don't know what that is. I should ask my gardener friend Jenny. But so now that I've got them kind of like cleaned up, I'm going to rinse them under the sink really quick. And this is really sizzling, so I'm going to turn this puppy down, and then we'll chop them up. Okay, just like that. I don't go too crazy on it because it's just in my garden and there's whatever, maybe a little spider, but whatever, he's fine. I'm sure he's not on here. I would see him. And then I'm just going to chop these right in here. Kitchen, oopsie, I think this looks like a piece of grass. We got a few pieces of grass in there. Maybe it'll be extra bitter. Hang on, now I'm all paranoid, thinking I have grass all over. Okay, kitchen scissors, I was going to say, are really nice to have. I don't use them all the time, but when I do want them, they really are nice. And you can literally chop a whole chicken up with scissors. I have learned that recently. So it's kind of fun to like take a whole chicken, and these scissors like just cut right through the thigh bones and where the hip joints are and whatever. I don't know the anatomy of a chicken, but I do use my scissors to chop it up. So, hang on. If you did not have scissors, obviously you just put this on a cutting board and cut them up. And I did quite a bit of chives today because I've discovered, I think I've discovered anyway, that they are a very subtle taste. And so it's not like this really strong taste that you end up getting. And I actually do want a decent amount of onion taste in this today. So I wanted it to be quite heavy in chives, not heavy in grass, but let's see what I end up with. Okay, so now that looks really pretty because like there's a bunch of chives in there. So maybe I went a little bit crazy, but I think it'll be good. Okay, so now I think that's it. Onion, tomato, rice, Worcestershire. Oh, the cheese, right. Okay. So if you've watched my shows, I hardly ever follow the recipe like the way I'm supposed to, and I just can't help it. I'm really bad about it. But I just like to do what I want, and so that's why I think cooking from scratch is so nice. If you don't want what the recipe says, just put what you like in it. So I don't like American cheese. I never have it, don't like it. So I always use Parmesan, just the cheapy grated Parmesan, because that's just what I like. And I think I'm going to add just a tad more tomatoes. Okay, partly because I'm a little bit paranoid that I hardly have enough filling for my 3 peppers. So I'm going to add some tomatoes just to get a little more oomph or like body or mass or whatever you want to call it. So, and it looks fine. You just don't want it to be, well, I guess if you do, I like mine to be equal rice and meat and not so much like all meat with a little bit of rice. But whatever, if your family wants all meat with a little bit of rice, just make it that way. Okay, so I'm going to try this and see. Yum. It's pretty good. A little more salt, and then we'll add the Parmesan, and then we'll stuff them. And there's my oven saying, I'm ready. Throw some peppers in me. All right, so this is probably what? Let's see, that's like 1/3 of a cup. So I'm going to do 1/3 of a cup of Parmesan, and then I have to kind of go fast because this will melt pretty quickly because everything is so hot. But I want to get this all stirred up, and then we're going to stuff our peppers, and then we're going to line it with foil, cover it with foil, and then bake it for like 15 minutes, again, just to kind of heat it through and melt that cheese. And you could probably do like a Monterey Jack cheese. I don't know if mozzarella would be right, maybe provolone, whatever you had, whatever. It's just whatever you like. Okay, so now you've got your pepper and it's nice and warm. Taste feels really nice in my hand. So I am going to kind of stuff these nice and level, okay, because I want to make sure I have enough stuff. Like, I don't doing this whole leftover thing. I'm not sure this is such a great deal because I feel like I'm going to not have as much filling as I would want. Like my little green one is so tall, but then I need to have enough for my red one. All right, so my written recipe will probably have more insides because this is barely going to be enough. Oh, that's okay. So this is kind of low, and I don't have any more rice. I don't have any more meat to add to it. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just gonna have to, I'm gonna just have to go a little bit light, or they're not gonna be like overflowing. On a normal day, I like to have them actually like come up and make like a little hill or whatever on top of the pepper. But because I was doing leftovers and thought I'd have enough, I don't get to do that because I don't have enough. But that's all right. So this one's a little bit shy and this one's a little bit shy. So I'm still going to throw the lids on. You can try to match them up here. It's like a little puzzle. Can I match it up? I don't know. Maybe it's harder than it looks. All right. I don't know. Whoopsie. That might not, oh my dog, did you see that? My dog, well you maybe can't, she was like ready to pounce on it. I got it, she was gonna get it for me, but I tricked her, it didn't fall off. Okay, that was an easy puzzle, that was good. That makes me feel better. All right, so now they look really cute because they're like surprise, there's stuff inside because you can't even see it. So I'm gonna put a lid on. I don't know, I just always like to cover stuff in the oven. I feel like I don't want my peppers to get too dried out or whatever. So cover this up. Oh, did I tip my thing over? I did kind of tip my thing over. All right. Seal it up to keep any moisture in there so that they stay nice and warm without drying out. Okay, so I think I did everything, right? And now I'm gonna pop them in my oven. Okay. And then I'm gonna set the timer for like, I think I'll do 20 minutes because it's only at 350. So, and everything was warm, but I wanted to get like nice and hot. And I'm gonna turn my oven up to 375 because I just feel like I want a little extra heat. Okay, so we will be back in 20 minutes and then we'll pull them out and see how they taste. All right, we'll be back. Okay, we are back. It's been about 21 minutes. My timer went off, so I'm gonna pull them out of the oven. Ooh, it's hot. Okay, so let's open them up and see how they look. So you can see there are little spots of like moisture and stuff, and that's okay. So I'm gonna take this yellow one. So this is how I usually serve them up too. I just use little tongs and put them on a plate like that. If you wanted, you could take your tin foil off either now or 5 minutes ago and then like grate Monterey Jack or mozzarella or whatever, like a white cheese, I would suggest, or yellow, whatever I suppose. But anyway, put that on top and then that'd be like melted cheese on top, which could be kind of cute too. So remember, when I have enough filling, normally this sits up kind of like this, and then I have like a little layer of filling in there too, but I don't have that today. So here's my filling, and I'm hoping if I did this right, usually my Parmesan cheese kind of binds everything together, and I can actually like slice it like a cake. It's kind of cool. So we'll see if I get that today. I'll show you here what I mean. So slicing it like that. So see how it like totally stays in, because the cheese has kind of stuck it together, and so it's kind of actually easy to eat. Then you just make little slices, and whoops, that fell apart a little bit. But yeah, it's usually kind of like a solid mass that you can take a bite of. All right, so let's hope it's not too hot. The Parmesan is really nice and strong, and then with the oregano, it gives it almost like an Italian seasoning type of taste, which I think is really good. If you don't want that Italian taste, then just do like the American cheese or mozzarella, Monterey Jack, Swiss, whatever your family loves. So there you have it. Stuffed peppers, green peppers, red peppers, whatever you want. So thank you very much for watching Box for You with Stephanie. I hope you like the show. I hope you make stuffed green peppers and your family just loves them, whether you do it this way or the long boat style. I do appreciate your time in watching. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next show. Okay, bye.